Yo,
Hey, one sec.
oh wow, there's an army of you. How y'all doing?
Good. Good.
What's up? What's up? What's up?
Okay, so my name's Misha. I was the one who was contacting you.
I'm Shannon.
I'm
Dope,
Dean.
what's up?
We're good. Um, we were wondering what your name was, or like what
Oh,
you want us you want us to call you.
Lubay works.
Lubay.
Yeah.
That's cool. Okay. So we're just gonna start off. So how'd you get into being an artist?
Oh man, it all started when I was born. Um, so what happened was, I guess it's technically true. Like I was like 3 years old, and and me and my brother, or my brother and I, depending on if you want to use phonics, we would always be drawing like at all times, at like random times. Like my dad would come home with like fax paper, and he would literally just be, giving us like stacks and stacks of paper, and we would draw forever, you know. Um, and my brother is his page is actually Princess Vibes.
Yeah,
Uh,
I saw that. Yeah.
yeah, that's my brother's page.
Yeah.
Um, so we do a lot of like collaboration together. He actually just sent me the last. So passage one is about to end,
Okay.
and he just sent me the last files. It's actually going to be animated. So
That's cool.
yeah, that's how we started, man. Just being, and I think being an islander too went into that, like just the rigidity of no TV during the week type thing. But yeah.
Yeah. Are there any artists that inspired your work?
Oh man, definitely, definitely. Um, Akira, the artist Akira who draws Dragon Ball Z, definitely had from like from the point of anatomy and physiology, like the way he would draw the muscular structure of the body,
Yeah.
definitely had a huge impact on my work. Also, Bill Watterson, who drew Calvin Hobbes.
I
Um,
love Calvin.
yeah, the way he drew anatomy too had a huge effect on me, and yeah, the list is pretty long, but I'm gonna say anime people like who did Akira and
Yeah.
like Bill Watterson and um yeah, I can't think of it.
They're great artists.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I find that a lot of people get into art because of anime, which it's so interesting to me. But yeah. So like, what's the story behind your latest works and posts on Instagram? Like, could you kind of delve deeper into that?
like the work itself or like it being on Instagram or both.
Just both, yeah.
So the story behind Semi Rock It Up. Actually, funny story. It was born at my uncle's house. Yo, that's just one story, right? Like what happened with the Honey post. That anecdote is literally just one of the things that I told Granny. Like we were laughing all day. So I had just moved to I so I had just moved to New York. I moved to New York in like 2015, and I moved in 2015, and then that's when I just felt lost. I was living at his house, and I didn't understand anything what was going on. I felt like this astronaut who was like floating in space. You know, it hit me like that. I was actually doing another comic, and I put it on hold. I put it on hold to work on Semi Rock It Up. That's what my brothers had advised because my other artwork was like much more colorful and much more elaborate, which can also be found on Instagram. Actually, I think I still have a little bit of artwork from the other one. Um,
Oh, yeah.
it's like full of color and It's so much different. You wouldn't even know that I did it. You know. So yeah, I felt like an astronaut floating in space, and then I hit up my friend, who was still in Florida at the time, and we just started writing a bunch of stuff together at 3 in the morning after work. Yeah.
So, what do you hope your fans get out of your artwork?
I think that question and the first one kind of mesh. So the second half answer of the question before this one is um, Anderson Paak. You know Anderson Paak.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, y'all live in California, right?
Yeah.
So you already know who Anderson Paak is. His Instagram, I'm sure y'all have seen it, is so lit. His Instagram is an experience, and my brother was showing me his page, and that's originally where I got the idea to do the ongoing element. To be honest, at first I had no intention of Semi Rocket Up being what it is today. Um, I had no idea it would reach people. Like, I don't know if y'all have seen the comments. Like,
Yeah,
it's like bananas. Like, so in the beginning, yeah, like, I guess my answer would be I wanted to have this experience where people can really vibe out with loneliness, this element of solitude that I felt while living in the suburbs of New York in the dead of winter and not knowing where I was going and feeling cold and alone and thinking that no one's gonna even read this. Like, I had no hopes that anyone would. I had hopes that people would read it, but I didn't think. I had no inkling that anybody would resonate with it, because the humor is really. Just the story is very weird. Even the way I tell the story is weird.
Yeah,
You
it
know?
is different, but it makes it unique in a way. So that's why people like
Yeah,
it.
that's very true.
Yeah, so I have been like following your passages like throughout, the past few months that you've been posting them. So I was just wondering, is the storyline behind it already planned out, or is just each time like kind of spontaneous idea?
Man, first of all, thank you. That is so dope when I hear that. Like, damn. I'm gonna say that yes and no. So while I was, y'all heard of LaShawn Thomas?
No.
LaShawn Thomas is probably like the only black name in anime. You know what I'm saying? He was a character developer for Boondocks, and yeah, so he worked with Studio Mir really closely, and y'all know, they did Avatar,
Yeah.
both of them. So LaShawn Thomas actually, he talked about how a lot of his mentors, who worked on Ghost in the Shell and Akira and the actual anime Akira, all those big name animes, though a lot of those guys, Studio Ghibli especially, did not necessarily have an end goal in mind. Like they knew where they kind of wanted to go, but the journey itself was like really indiscriminate. And since that's how I felt living in New York, when I had just moved here from Florida, I was like, I'm about to follow that same model because I don't know what's going on. So I do, and then I don't. But I mix those two elements together, and that's how the spontaneity of the story itself comes to life.
Yeah, that's interesting, and it like works out too. Like the passages are so interesting to me every time you post them.
Are they? Dang, that's so
Yeah.
awesome. Like, it's such a wild feeling right now. Yeah.
Do you still watch anime?
Do I still watch anime?
Yeah.
Girl. Yeah. Like the last anime that I watched, there was a gap. I finished Attack on Titan season 2, and my heart. It was a lot. It was a lot going on inside of my heart. You know what I'm saying? And I was like, I think I'm about to take a break from anime right now. And then I was feeling really nostalgic and seeing a lot of I like how people like LaShawn Thomas go back in time and give ode to an homage to the greats. And I had to watch the Big O because I grew up watching Toonami, and the Big O would come on, and I just wanted to see the older anime and animation style. Even the way y'all, you know the difference I'm talking about.
Yeah,
It's just
yeah.
the way they used to draw like faces
Yeah.
and bodies was so different in the '90s.
Yeah.
And I think my next venture is probably going to be like Cowboy Bebop.
Oh, nice.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's pretty. I can definitely see the influence of that to your artwork, I would say.
Do you really?
Yeah. I see some
Wow.
values. What's your favorite way to create your art? Like medium? What's your favorite medium?
You know what? It's been changing. I recently gave a piece of mine to you guys know Tristan Eaton? You ever heard that name?
Not familiar with it.
He draws really, really large murals. He's really big. So this is, I don't even know what units these are, but
Oh, nice.
you've seen these already.
Yeah.
So this was done with a brush pen. Now, my friend, who was at the time a foreign exchange student from China in high school, um, used the brush pen a lot, and he gave me one on the train one day, and it totally changed how I drew. You know, so normally, like for my other story, I was using a regular Faber Castell like extra small pen. But after using the brush pen, I started to get more experimental, and this is one of the things that I did. Now this is actually the Sharpie,
That's so cool.
That's great.
right? So there's that, which I'm gonna sell eventually, and and then I've been using a lot of paint lately too, and I want to like I've been mixing the two of them together. So I think right now paint and Sharpie um, is like my favorite way to express art these days.
Nice. So we have 3 minutes left. So
Okay.
do you have any last words or any questions or advice for people?
Yes. Let me think about it. This is my advice. My advice to people is that sometimes you cannot apply the same story and the same advice to every single person. And that just as unique as our fingerprint is, that's how unique our own story and path to our next phase in life, it has to be as unique. And I think that definitely true. It sounds so cliche, but now I'm starting to understand it because a lot of people think that I like exploded and like off of the Humans of New York post, but a year ago I had 50 followers. Up until right before that moment, I had about 3,700 something, and I was like grinding and networking. And I talked to a bunch of strangers all the time. Like I met the producer of Stranger Things like 3 months ago,
Oh,
and we had a conversation. And the same way that I met Brandon, remember he didn't come to me. I went to him
oh,
and started the conversation and wasn't expecting it to be posted. I just wanted to network because I genuinely love people, and that is the advice. My advice is I don't have advice. I would recommend that everyone truly dial it down on the opinions of other people and how they think you should do something, and do what you definitely feel and know you have to do something.
Can you kind of talk about what it was like meeting the producers and Stranger Things or Brandon?
Yeah. I can condense both those stories. They both happened around the same area. It was the Lower East Side, aka LES, and I was um, I was actually looking for work that day in LES, and instead of finding work, I found Sean Levi, and I was like, "Yo, what's up? I love your work," and he was like, "Oh, thank you." And then I was like, "Quick, Lou, say the same thing again, but just in different verbiage." I was like, "Your output has great quality, and I approve of it." And It was like hella mechanical. And he was like, "Oh wow, you a filmmaker?" And I'm like, "Quick, Lou, don't lie to him. Tell him the truth. You're not a filmmaker, but tell him something." And I was like, "I'm working on a comic that I want to turn into a film." And he was like, "Oh, that's great. What's your name so we can look out for you?" And from there, I shook his hand, and then we like parted ways. How I met Brandon was I was actually with my cousin in the car, and then Brandon came from around the corner, and I looked at him, and I was like, "That looks like Brandon. He was in New York, but it's probably not him. What are the odds?" I like looked away. Then I looked again. I was like, "But that guy's got a camera, but it's too small. Brandon wouldn't have a camera that small." So I looked away, and then I looked again. I was like, "But he does like Brandon. Hey, are you Brandon?" "Yeah." "Oh my God!" And I got the whip, and then we had the greatest time.
That is awesome. That's really inspiring. Yeah.
It is. It is. It's amazing.
All right. Well,
Thank you so much.
yeah. Thank you for this opportunity.
Great. It's really
Yeah. Most def. I appreciate that y'all even had, the opportunity to hit me up.
Thank you. Thank you.
Word.
Bye.
Peace.